So, good day everyone. Today I will be discussing sample problems on drying. So, let's start. Sample problem number one. Materials enter a dryer containing 60% H2O and leave with a 5% water. Find the weight of H2O removed based on each A. Pound of original product, B. Pound of final product, C. Pound of bone drying material. So, let's start. So for the given, we will have the initial moisture, which is 60%, converted into decimal point, which is 0.60. Then the final moisture, which is 5%, converted into decimal, it is equal to 0.05. So for the required, we must find the pound of original product, pound of final product, and pound of bone drying material. So for the free body diagram, this is our free body diagram. Wet feed goes inside, which is the 60% initial moisture, into the dryer, and then out with a dried product, which is 5%. The heater, the heated air goes in, humid air goes out. So for the formula, we use uh, the moisture content, which is X is equal to W minus BD over W. We have BD for bone drying. Next is the BD is equal to times 1 minus X. Moisture is equal to W minus BD, and moisture removed is equal to initial moisture minus final moisture. So for the solution, we will start with letter A. We will assume that W or so for letter A, we will assume that W or weight is equal to 1 pound. So we will use the formula bone drying is equal to weight times 1 minus X. So we will convert it as substitute. So it will be 1 times 1 minus 6, 0.60. So the answer for the bone drying will be 0.40 pounds. Next, bone drying is equal to weight final is equal times 1 minus x2 is equal to 0.40 pound equals WF times 1 minus 0.05. Sa ship sub, we will have 0.4211 pound as our final weight. Next, we will find the initial moisture. We will use the formula M1 is equal to weight minus bone drying. So 1 minus 0.40, we will have 0.60 pounds. Next, for the final moisture, we will use the formula weight final minus bone drying, which is 0.4211 minus 0.40 pounds. The result will be 0.021. To get the moisture removed, we must subtract the initial and final, which is 0.60 minus 0.021. We will have a moisture remove of 0.579 pounds. Next, for the letter B, we will do the same. 1 times 1 minus 0.05, bone drying will be 0.95 pounds. Next, we will find the initial weight. So 0.95 is equal to initial weight times 1 minus 0.60. We will have an initial initial weight of 2.375 pounds. Next, to get the initial moisture, we will subtract initial weight minus bone drying. We will have 1.425 pounds. Next, for the final moisture, we will subtract 1 pound minus 0.95 pounds to get an answer of 0.05 pounds. Then subtract the initial and final moisture to get a moisture remove of 1.375 pounds. Next is for the letter C, uh, pound for dry bony material. So for the letter C, we will assume that bone drying is equal to 1 pound. So same formulas used. 1 pound is equal to weight times 1 minus 0.60. We will have 2.5 pounds. Since we have that, we will use initial moisture. We'll have 1.5 pounds. We will use to find it with uh, final weight ship sub. Then you will have 1.0526 pounds. Right. After that, we will use After that, we will subtract it. So 1.0.0526 minus 1 pound is equal to 0.0526 pounds. Subtract the initial and final, we will have a 1.447 pounds. So for the final answer for letter A, B, and C, uh, the moisture removed per pound of each of the required is for letter A is 0.5579 pounds, B 1.375 pounds, and for letter C is 1.447 pounds. Next, sample problem number 2. So problem number 2, a rotary dryer produces 20 metric tons per hour of dried sand containing 0.5% moisture from a wet feed containing 10% moisture. Temperature of wet sand is 30 degrees Celsius and that of dried sand is 115 degrees Celsius. Fuel use per hour of bunker oil is 275 liters with an HHV or high heating value of 39,000 BTU per liter. Specific heat of sand is 0.21 BTU per pound Fahrenheit degrees. Neglecting radiation loss, calculate the efficiency of the sand dryer. So for the given na atay dried sand which is 20 metric tons per hour, moisture feed is 0.5% or 0.005. Moisture in product 10% or 0.1. Wet sand temperature is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. Convert it into Fahrenheit which is equivalent to 86 Fahrenheit. Dried sand temperature is 115 degrees. Convert it into Fahrenheit which is 239 Fahrenheit. Fuel consumption 275 liter per hour. HHV 39,000 BTU per liter. Specific heat 0.21. So for the required, calculate the efficiency of the sand dryer. So para sa to ang free body diagram. So wet sand sulod dali sa rotary dryer and while hot air is inside, then dried sand will gawas. Para sa formula na gigamit, efficiency of dryer is equal to heat absorbed by materials over heat supplied. So for the heat supplied, we will just use the formula fuel times HHV. Then bone drying formula which is equal to weight times 1 minus x. So for the solution, BD is equal to times 1 minus x is equal to 20 times 1 minus 0.005 na atay bomb drying 19.9 metric tons per hour. Paggamit ana, substitute mo na siya para makuha na to ang weight, which is 22.101 22.111 metric ton per hour. For the moisture removed, mo to siya to minus na to ng 22.111 minus 19.9 na atay moisture removed na 2.211 metric ton per hour. Para sa moisture, minus na to ang 20 o ang 19.9 na atay 0.1 metric ton per hour. Next, minus na to ni siya, moisture removed 2.211 minus 0.1 na atay 2.111 metric ton per hour. So for the heat supplied, multiply na to siya 275 liter per hour times 39,000 BTU per liter, makancel ang liter. So naatay heat supplied nga 10.725 times 10 to the 6 BTU per hour. So narato ang conversions. Ipang multiply lang natin sa conversion sa tons to pounds, which is 2,204.642. Multiply lang natin siya para makakuha ta og 43,871.941 pound per hour. Same mga conversion. Then mag-start na lang ta sa ito ang formula para sa ito ang heat absorbed. So for heat sand is multiply na ito na siya for 43,871.94 times 0.21 times 153 Fahrenheit. We will have 1.409 times 10 to the 6 BTU per hour. Next, for the Q evaporation, 4,653.95 times 970 na atay 4.514 times 10 to the 6 BTU per hour. Then heat remaining, which is 220.5 times 1 times 153 Fahrenheit. We will have an answer of 33.737 times 10 to the raised to the 3 BTU per hour. I-add na sila tanan para makakuha ta og heat absorbed, which is heat absorbed, which is 5.957 times 10 to the 6 BTU per hour. Since naa naman kompleto naman nato ang heat absorbed o heat supplied, we will just divide it, then multiply it with 100% para makuha na itong efficiency, which is 55.54%. So that is the final answer sa ito ang required na efficiency of the sand dry. That is all. Thank you.